most kids then and today, most kids then that had the 15 cents would go to a movie. I think it cost 15 cents to go to a movie then. I was never a movie goer, never liked to go to movies. I was grown 12 years old or bigger before I ever seen one. And a couple of my friends in the country, I come to town with them and we went to the movie. It's very disturbing to me, very disturbing. And my family didn't believe in going to movies. And they kind of preached it to me. And I thought going to a movie was like going to a honky-tonk or a bar or something, you know, not good, bad. So a few times I took Normally to movies. On a date with Normally, she'd want to go to Fulton, Union City, or Martin. Now she had friends in each place. I don't know about Fulton, but she had friends in Union City, had some in Martin. And she'd want to go down there and go in and see her friends and talk to them a few minutes. And we'd drive back, stop somewhere and get a hamburger maybe. Went to the movie a few times in Fulton. I guess we did in Union City and Martin too. She'd say, I'd like to see that movie, and I'd go in with her, but it was never, I guess it was something that was preached in my mind was wrong. And I never did enjoy seeing a movie. I never watch one on TV, very seldom ever watch one on TV. I don't know why. My mother and dad were old. Sandra was already born. I'm not sure about David. In 41. They had never been to Florida. So I never been to Florida either in 41. So we made the trip around the state of Florida. And down there somewhere in Florida, Normally said there's a movie showing here tonight I'd like to see. And I said, okay, we'll go. So I asked my mother and dad to go to a movie. They'd never seen one. So they went with us to the movie. My mother stayed in the movie very, very few minutes. She run out. She just wouldn't stay. She said, I'm not going to sit in here and watch this. I think my daddy stayed. I think me and Norm Lee stayed. We may have not stayed through the whole movie. 50 years after that, or a long time, Normally would see a movie on TV and she'd say, Bill, that's a movie that your mother and dad had seen. I didn't remember it, have no idea what the name of it was. So that's, to my knowledge, the only time my dad and mother ever seen a movie. My dad seemed to enjoy it. My mother just got up and walked out in a strange town, and I guess we got up and went out too. I don't know. I don't believe I would have let my mother go outside on a strange town on the street.
Right.
I just don't remember that much about it. But Normally always said that your daddy would have sat through the movie. Said he was enjoying it, and she just went. She's kind of went. Hey, when it started playing, you know, I don't know if the noise or what, and she said, I ain't gonna stay in here. I'm getting out of here. So she just got up, and I don't know if my dad followed her or all of us did or what.
Mm-hmm.
We double dated then a lot. Normally had a lot of girlfriends, and back then, when very many boys had cars.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty easy to double date with somebody because all you had to do is ask them because they didn't have a car, you know. And I was a big shot. I had a car, or I thought I was a big shot. Some of my cars were bought in the junkyard and put two together and made one, but I had a decent car to go to Fulton, Union City, and Martin, and never had to leave one on the side of the road that I remember, but I might have. But most of my friends that I run around with had no car. Some of their whole family didn't even have a car, like their parents didn't even have a car. So if I pick them up in my car, oh, they were waiting for old Billy to get there. Oh. I used to tell, I had two close friends. Lynn Toy was one of them, and Doug Lancaster was one, and Otis Tatum was one. There's three. We would go to Fulton, and we'd see three girls going down the street, and they'd say, "Pull over, let's talk to them." Well, I'd pull over or stop and let them out. But I'd always told them, by the time I get the car parked, I know which one I'm going to wind up with. I tell it in a joking way, but it's the truth. I wound up with the big fat one or the ugly one, and they didn't have the two best looking ones. Because the driver they got out of the car and I had to park it. Oh, I tell that story, and it's really the truth. I'd say to myself, I know which one I'm gonna get now. I'm just looking at them going down the street, you know, and one of them's gonna look worse than the rest of them, you know. Ain't no use worrying about it. That's what I'm gonna wind up with. If we get them, we may not. Most of the time you didn't get them, but sometimes they go riding with you. You know, stop and pick up three girls. We had better luck in Fulton than we did in Mayfield. I'll talk to you a little bit about your grandmother. I was running around with a boy that owned a little castle. His mother lived in Paducah, and they come over here and put in a little castle nickel hamburger joint where the city hall is now. So I'd hang around. I loved hamburgers, and every day I'd go up there, and I got to hanging around with the boy, and we got to run around together. Girls all over town would come up to the hamburger place and get the hamburgers, and his name was Lynn Toy. Talked Lynn out of pickles. They'd say, "Give me some pickles, Lynn," and he'd hand them out pickles, you know, and he wouldn't give them a nickel hamburger, but he'd give them pickles, you know. So I guess I saw normally up there around, you know. So I guess I said to Lynn, I sure would like to have a date with that girl. So he said, "All right, I'll see what I can do for you." I said, "See if you can get me a date with her." He called her up on the telephone. Her mother had a telephone. And it wasn't too much trouble. He got me a date with her. That's how I met.
Okay.
Oh, that's one way I met her. And then another way I met her, she had been to our house when we lived in the country. My mother's sister didn't have a husband, but had a daughter, and she lived with her mother about a mile from us. And she got a job working for Norm Lee's mother. Norm Lee's mother was elected city tax commissioner, not city, county.
Okay.
So she would keep house, call them housekeepers, and keep house for Miss Nell. Miss Nell Strop was her name. And she had 4 boys and Norm Lee. And I'd go there to pick my aunt up and take my aunt over there. I think she would come to our house on the weekends or wherever she'd go, but she never had a car. So I'd always go pick my aunt up. I was crazy about my aunt. So I picked my aunt up, and I'd go to Norm Lee's house, and I would see Norm Lee then. Then never ever remember talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember her being at our house in the country, but Miss Nell, I guess my aunt and my mother invited her out there for Sunday dinner or something. So she come out there. I don't remember. Norm Lee remembers it. She said she remembers seeing me then, and that was before 33. So I was about 12 years old or 13.
Okay.
But I never looked at her or didn't know anything. And that's the way I got my first date with Norm Lee, and then from then on it was just kind of in the middle of the road. I used to take hay rides to Noble Park in Paducah. I had a Dodge truck. And they'd get up a hay ride, and I'd take the kids to Paducah. I was a kid too. Some of them older than I was then. Norm Lee remembers riding on my truck, but she never remembered looking at me or anything. You know, she had a date with somebody else, and they would, the boys would get dates and take their girlfriends to Noble Park. And back then, the girls would fix their supper for the boys, and sandwiches and stuff. Now you buy everything, but back then, if they had a quarter to pay for the ride, I don't remember how much I got. It's $5 or $6 for taking a truckload over there, maybe 7. I don't remember. And she remembers riding on my truck, but I never had a date with nobody. Then I just had a friend that mother run a grocery over on 9th Street. Dub Lancaster, and Dub would get the hay rides up. He'd say, we're going to go Wednesday night or Thursday night or something. And I'd leave them over 2 or 3 hours, and me and Dub would sit in the truck or drive a truck around the park. Or that's kind of the way I met Norm Lee. And from then on, it was just kind of, I guess I liked her enough, I just kept going back.